Your money. Idiot.
Chick you want to cook for? If you do, remember this meal is only for side chicks and not for girlfriends. So what we're doing today is paleo egg muffins, paleo cauliflower, paleo almond pudding, and peppers. And this is going to be the best meal for your side chick.
If we will be preparing today is the egg paleo muffins. Now, the ingredients we'll be using for this are eggs, mustard, cayenne pepper, salt, ham, and you'll also need a tray to bake. Now, ingredients may vary depending on how much you actually want to spend on your side chick. These ingredients here are the cheapest we can find, so very cost effective. First things first is you have to break the eggs and crack them, and you have to beat them to get a nice yellow consistency. After you do that, you have to cut the ham into small little slices, and after that, you have to beat the eggs again until all the eggs are beaten, and then you put the seasoning inside, and that's when you pour them into the baking tray and put them into the oven, which is to be preheated at 315 or 50 degrees before the eggs completely. Cut the ham. After that, this is how it looks like, and then you just add the seasoning. Inside the mix, you pour the mix inside the little cupcake hole. Now, you can either put the ham first or after. Personally, I like to put the ham first. And not so much ham to where it overflows. You want to fill it to about halfway of each little cupcake things. Or depending on your baking pan, depends on how big that is and how deep those are. So, now that we're going to be putting the bell peppers, don't put your hands aside and
Okay, so we're going to be making the side dish for a side chick, and we're going to be making our roasted bell peppers. So we're going to like cut the bell peppers out, so this will be showing, and then we're going to take it empty. You cut it out and empty it out. This is how it's going to look like.
Yeah. So
and we're going to be baking the bell peppers and the egg muffins at the same time to save time, because once again, this is very cost effective and very time effective. Because it's only for your side chick.
I was gonna say that.
Is that a big practice one?
No, that's a real one.
I was cauliflower rice. We're going to be cutting these cauliflower into little stalks. But remember, we're only going to use half because you know side chicks don't deserve that much. So as you see, I'm cutting this into little mini stalks as small as possible to conserve the most amount. And just continue on the process until we get half of this done. And then once we get half of this done, we're going to be inserting this into the blender. So it can resemble more of a rice formation, which is why it's going to be looking like roasted cauliflower rice. Oh, you can cut it out. So at the end of the blending and the cutting, this is how the cauliflower rice will look. And to add, we're going to be adding additional seasoning, cayenne pepper, just a few dashes, salt, and a little bit of mustard. Creates the best taste possible for our side chick.
Rafael, if you do not
And voila, here we go.
So he broke up.
So yeah, now you just go.
Hit that neck. Hit that neck.
So side chick for dessert is for dessert today we're going to be making banana pudding with almond butter. So first you're going to be getting 2 whole bananas that we're going to slice up right now. First you got to peel the banana. As you can see here, this black banana looks pretty good still, so hey Ralph. Do you have to record all this from cutting it up?
No, you should just explain.
Oh, okay. You want to record the part where you cut up your bananas, you put them into this little cube bowl that Ralph washed, so I don't trust it, but yeah. Okay, so now after you put your sliced bananas into the bowl, you have to squish it.
Like this. It's not a fork.
Now that we have our squished bananas, we've got to mix with that almond butter, then put 2 tablespoons of almond butter onto the bowl. Really sticky. And then mix it up, right? Yeah, mix it up.
Now we have everything done, right?
Wait, record. Tell me ready.
Oh, you want to record?
Now we have everything cooked and prepared. You see we have the egg paleo muffins, looking very delicious. We have the pudding, which is made of almond butter and banana. And we have the bell pepper and the cauliflower rice. Now, the bell pepper and the cauliflower rice are both separate dishes, but for your side chick, we wanted to make see today for paleo this. Now, what is the paleo diet? The paleo diet consists of foods that back in the caveman days you either hunt, kill, pick, or you find. So, for example, we have ham, which is like comes from an animal, so that's something we kill. And cauliflower rice, which is made from cauliflower, which is a vegetable, meaning we can pick that from the ground. We have bananas that can be picked, and almond butter, which is derived from a nut. So, all those foods are natural and whole, and they're foods that come from the earth. Now, why is it important? The anatomy aspect of it is because if you were to compare our human life cycle, our humans since we were evolutionized, to a football field, which is 120 yards, for 119.5 yards, we have adapted and our bodies have evolved and grown and performed at its best to survive from these types of foods: meats, fish, nuts, veggies, fruits, natural food. And only for the last 25 years have our bodies been introduced to the industrial revolution of grains, processed carbohydrates, processed foods, low-fat foods. And that has really affected our health with the rising of obesity in America. Now, why does this food equal a lot of health? Well, since our small intestines and our stomachs have evolved to absorb these foods naturally and absorb the most nutrients from these foods. For example, in the eggs are a good source of whole, complete protein. Now, commonly in America, they say take out the yolk because that's where all the bad part is. On the contrary, the yolk is what has most of the vitamins and minerals. Vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin B, and vitamins that help the nerves and brains. Now, instead of taking out the yolk, you should leave the yolk in there because the yolk also contains 2/3 of the egg's protein. By taking out the yolk, you'll be taking out most of the protein, which is what most people eat it for anyways. And what's in the yolk? In the yolk, you have healthy fats. Now, a lot of people say it raises cholesterol. It does to an extent, but it helps regulate good and bad cholesterol in your body, which is essential for your body to function at its most effectiveness. Now, also, the effectiveness of these foods, they're easy to find, they're cheap to find in the groceries, and they're not that expensive because they're not processed, they're not as expensive as highly processed foods that are already made or that are already added more stuff. As far as that goes, the egg itself is a whole complete source of protein and vital and excellent nutrients that your body functions on every day.
I'm sorry.
Added to the bell pepper because it's a perfect taste and a great combination. The cauliflower is a vegetable and it's very high in fiber, which helps allow with digestion. It's high in vitamin C, which strengthens the immune system and fights off a lot of sickness. And it's also low in fat, low in carbs. And the components and elements within cauliflower help strengthen DNA and repair, which makes it easier to split cells.
Okay, so the banana pudding with the almond butter is a great dessert because the almond butter in itself is really great for being high in protein to help repair your muscle tissues. And not only that, but it contains a lot of healthy fats such as monounsaturated fats, which help decrease your cholesterol level. Not only that, but the banana also contains soluble fibers and it tastes great, and it's a fruit that can satisfy your sweet tooth.
Okay, as you can see, we created a delicious meal today, but we already know how we choose side chicks. Side chicks don't get the great food that we cook. They get pizza. Very cheap, very easy, and we don't have to cook it. Right, you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good, okay.
Get her off. Come on. Now, as you can see, we're grinding
Okay,